This is from Biafra's Got Talent. We are letting Biafrans know the reason why we should remember those who gave their lives for us, those who died that we may live.
You died to end my suffering. You died fighting for my freedom. Your blood is the seed of redemption. You are my inspiration.
The deed no wrong with them, military shots at them. 67 to 70, we remember them. 2016, 38 May, memory still lives in our mind till today. Wonder why they refuse to publicize the genocide. The world media turn blind eyes to our plight. It's time to arise, land of the rising sun. Let's rise one more time, let's rise.
Yo, we will never forget our fallen heroes. Those who gave their life for us. Onitsha massacre, Ipocha massacre, Aba massacre. We remember you. Alright.
Tell them I got that day. Remember when me tell you say I got that day. Yeah, I remember that one that called us a prospero. But the way you go like a papa no go. But them way boniro, me tell you what I look pandi, what pandi samiro, me tell you what I day. For me the fall and the rest of man I tell you what I do. Me no back and forth, me tell them say what
I want to promise you something today. We must fight together, no retreat and no surrender. We must hold them down till the end of time. The most important thing is that we will restore Biafra. May your soul rest in peace.
I look up to the sky with tears in my eye. For other Biafrans and for freedom had to die. We will never forget you as the days go by. You are always in my heart, you'll never be apart. They fought for our freedom, they died for our freedom. They fought the Nigerian soldiers in the war front, without food, without guns, for our freedom, for our life, for our own good, for our children. We love them, our heroes, we want them.
My heart bleeds when I saw them slain. Where will I be now if not then? They will remain indelible in my heart forever, 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 and ever, and ever, and ever.
We serve in your plantation, and the way you paid us back with your bloody starvation. We play in our history that the death of my people is a mystery. No going back to get to a victory. I had a voice now call for vengeance. I never get bombed, I'ma blow like a vengeance.
Yo, we will never forget our fallen heroes. Those who gave their life for us. Onitsha massacre, Ipocha massacre, Aba massacre. We remember you. Alright.
Where will I be now? If not you, you die at Mali, 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 Mali.
They were starved to death because of our freedom, and they paid the debt for our freedom. Flag high for those that died in the genocide, fighting for you and I. There is pain in our heart, we bleeding inside, tears in our eyes, so I'm following you.
This is for my fallen heroes. Give them a motivation, people. The
air. Never be afraid. March on, cause we are more than conquerors. Yeah, you know what it is. We must revenge, and we must stand to represent who we are.
Akara m ihe mbe na-eme mbe si ma chọrọ ofu ukwu ehi ma nke ọzọ mụ achọrọ ihe niile ma ụkwụ ya ma aka ya ma isi ya ma olu ya anyị ga-adọbiri wee pụọ na nke onwe anyị tighata azụ etu anyị nọ tupu ndị ọcha wee bịa ebe a nwa aha obodo ebe a nwe ndị mmadụ n'ime tupu nwa bekee si ebe o si hapụ obodo ya ọ bịa ebe a ọkpọrọ onye nke ọkpọrọ okeke ọkpọrọ okafọ dakata anyị isi ọ sị n'ụbọchị nke taa na anya aha anyị wuzi Naijiria anyị na-aza aha na-enweghị omimi n'ime ya ihe ngwagbasị biko kọwara m ihe Naijiria pụtara enwepụghị kọwara m ọmụa ga-aza aha osimiri ka osimiri ga-aza aha mụnwa n'ihi ihe anyị na-ekwuwu na ebe a rụgidere ụlọ a na ọ jọgburu onwe ya ọ dịghị mma Naijiria agaghị emekọtanwu ihe ọzọ ihe ọjọọ emego n'obodo a arụ emego egbugo ndị be anyị aka na-egbukwa anyị ndị Fulani wee chere na mabata be anyị ka na-egbukwa ndị be anyị ruo ụtụtụ echi a na-asị m na ọ ga-adị mma oge ọ na-ekwekwu ka nwee mmekọrịta bụ nke ndị nrụkọ nke ndị ụmụnne ha egosighị anyị ọtụtụ mgbe ha kpọrọ anyị asị onye ajụrụ ajụ na-ajụ onwe ya ha jụrụ anyị aja ama njụ onwe anyị agbanyeghị na anyị nwe ngwa ahịa n'ugwu Awụsa agbanyeghị na anyị na-azụ ahịa ebe niile dị iche iche na-eme nke ọma kama onye gara ndụ kpakụ onye rie niile ọ ndụ bụ isi ka anyị na-ekwu okwu ya ka anyị cheghata azụ ebe a ruo obodo anyị ka o wee maa mma wee karịa obodo ndị ọcha na mma ọhịa anyị na-arịọ nwekwe na ugwu nwee nkwanye ugwu n'ime onwe anyị ọnwa anyị pụọ n'iro a na-etigbu anyị pụọ n'iro ekwu okwu asị ọ bụ gịnị ma anyị ji wee ekwu okwu ọmụ ihe ndị a ka anyị si na anyị agaghị anabatakwa ya ọzọ
akụkọ akọrọ anyị bụ na ọkụkọ na ewu agaghị nzukọ ụmụ anụmanụ a na-emezi mgbe ọbụla a chọrọ ịchụ aja ejiri ọkụkọ maọbụ nwụchụ aja mgbe ọbụla a chọrọ ime ka Naijiria dị n'otu enwe ha na-etozi mgbe kpam akpụrụ ndị Igbo ọ pụtara na anyị bụ ọkụkọ maọbụ ka ọ pụtara na anyị agaghị nzukọ mere ya bụ ihe eji eme anyị bụ ndị Igbo ụdị na ọbara ndị Igbo awụkpafu n'obodo Naijiria
ọ bụ site na akpọmasị ihe na-eme anyị dị ka ihe mere ndị ji oge mgbe gara aga etu ọkụka mba niile dị iche iche ji kpọọ ụmụ Izrel asị a na-egbu ha afọ niile aka na-egbu ha o wee ruo oge ugbu anyị asị na ogbugbu a na-egbu anyị na ọ dịghị anyị mma ọ ka mma na onwe ihe kegbuo anyị nwere onwe njem a nke anyị na-aga kama na na-esi etete n'ụtụtụ asị na onwe onye gburu ebe a onwe ha na-ekwu okwu odo na nyere onwe onye n'aka ụkọchukwu n'ugwu Awụsa ebepụ isi ọnwụghị ofu ugboro ọnwụghị ugboro abụọ ọnwụghị ugboro atọ ọnwụghị ugboro anọ ọ bụ ruo ole mgbe ka a ga-egbugide anyị wee rue anyị asị mba na anyị ga-aga ka anyị nwee ike wee nwere onwe anyị ọ ka mma na anyị nwụrụ ebe anyị na-azọ nwere onwe tụbụ na anyị nọ n'ụlọ etu a mmadụ bụ mabata n'ime ụlọ mbịa bupụ m isi a sị na-achọghị ụdị nka ọ bụghị anyị maka a ga-eji wee chụọ àjà ọzọ
onye si na ya ga-ata anyị ahụhụ ma ọ bụ na anyị fe arụsị anyị wee na-efe arụsị mgbe were iwe gị na ọmụma gị wee bịa leta anyị ụmụ anyị wee na-anwụsị ụfọdụ nọ n'ụzọ ije ha anaghị alọta ụlọ ọzọ nne na nna wee na-ata ahụhụ wee na-ata ikikere eze nwaanyị konye ka ọ gaa ubi gaa rụọ ọrụ Fulani chiri ehi bata ebe ala gị ndị n'iyi okwu ebepụ ya isi anyị bụ ka anyị kpọpụ onye nwe anyị n'ugwu Awụsa ahụ ejide anyị wee gbuo ihe ọ bụ anyị mara aka n'ime ha si maka ha aga n'ihu elekwa ọdụ ụgbọ mmiri n'igwe ọcha bụ ememiri ọhịa nke dị na Kalaba otu aka ahụ anyị na-ala nsọ ebe Biafra bụ ndị kọstọm sokwenye anyị n'etiti anyị anọghị n'ime mmiri kama kọstọm juru ebe niile ha wee na-ata anyị ahụhụ anyị kwe kwesịpụta anyị ka gbochie anyị kwe kwesịpụta anyị ka gbagbuo anyị onye nwe anyị na Chineke na nke bi n'igwe ọ bụ ụzọ dị anya ka isi na-ekwu ndị iro anyị n'anya wee karịa ndị nke gị akwa anyị bụ ụmụ Chineke akwa ọba aha anyị ka anyị na-aza akwa ọba anyị nwe na-aza ike Chukwu akwa ọba anyị nwe na-aza amara Chineke akwa ọba anyị nwe na-aza Chisom akwa ọba anyị nwe na-aza Chizoba nna nke dị nsọ onye ime eluigwe dị otu onye iro dị na anyị bụ ụmụ gị bịa ka iwe zọpụta anyị bịa ka iwe napụta anyị n'aka ajọ ihe bịa ka iwe lụọrọ anyị ọgụ bịa ka iwe dịtụ ozu ọ bụ ọkọwa mgbe mmiri na Goliath Chineke nna nke igwe ruo ememiri na fero sikwa otu a mee ka fero ka ọ guzo n'ihu ụmụnne anyị ga-ebite onwe eji akwakwa ikiri ọtọ ọsọ ị ga na-edu anyị n'ụzọ niile nke ezi omume ọ bụla adịghị na anyị na-aga ndagwurugwu onyinye ọnwụ ọ bụ nwa bụ ekele n'igwe n'ụwa nwunye ọbụla kere gị nweghị mmalite nweghị ọgwụgwụ kama anyị onwe anyị kwa anọkwa ahụ ofu ụbọchị anyị ga-anwụ n'ezie kama ma akọ na okwu gị na-anọgide ebe mgbe ebighị ebi ọ bụ ya mere anyị ji were gị n'anya isi anyị wee na-asị nna nke dị nsọ bịa ka igwe gosi anyị Biafra na ndụ na-abụghị n'ọnwụ bịa ka igwe na-ekebe gị na amara gị wee kpuchiri anyị ka uwe bịa ka igwe zọpụta ndị nke gị bịa ka igwe mee ka Biafra wee bịa ka anyị na-ewetụta na nsọpụrụ na ịja mma site n'aha gị onye bụ Chukwu nke abịama.
Welcome. Thank you for joining us on this very evening section. I appreciate everyone that has connected. Like and share the program to all platforms, share to family and friends, share to close neighbors, get them involved so that we can be able to get the message across to those who need to hear us. Wherever you're watching from, I want you to understand that the situation is not getting any better. Before we proceed, I have to remind you that in this platform, we don't come here to instigate violence. We don't preach hate. We don't attack people or individuals. We do not attack any race or religion. What we do here is to present the case of Biafra before the whole world and let the world know what is going on in the contraction called Nigeria. That is what we are doing, and that is what we will continue to do. So wherever you are watching this program from, I want to urge you to please pay attention from the beginning to the end. We are here to reveal what is happening in Nigeria and what is going on. If you are a Biafran, this is the time for you to tighten up your belt. If you are from that contraction called Nigeria and you're not a Biafran, you're not into agitation, you're from other ethnic group, you must equally prepare. Because the Islamization of Nigeria is speeding up, is almost completed. It's almost completed, both diplomatically, both in their armed struggle and every other aspect. They are ready to unleash everything at the same time. You can see politically already, Nigeria is captured. Politically, Nigeria is captured, is in the hand of the terrorists as we speak. The politicians can continue to pretend and tell you lies, but here we say it as it is. We don't hide anything. We continue to speak the truth. We continue to expose the lies. We continue to expose the criminals the best way we can. So I am trying to tell you that you must be very strong. Tighten up your belt wherever you are. Tighten up your belt. The days ahead is going to be even more difficult than what you have seen already. You can see that the terrorists in Nigeria has intensified their attack. The attack has increased, even with the presence of the United States and military on the ground. Even with the presence of the United States military on the ground, they are not deterred. They are going on to show you that they are prepared and they know what they are doing. So when you see what is happening today, the only thing left for the indigenous people is to prepare themselves. Every individual must get ready to defend him or herself. Don't wait until the military or the police come. You can already see that the Nigerian government is the one sponsoring the attack against the citizens. I'm not just saying it to blackmail them. Report that is coming from their own conventional media shows that the recent attack in Kwara State, they were informed. They got the information, but they did nothing. That is not the first time. We have seen on several locations where they will even remove the security of the people and allow these terrorists come in. And even with the presence of the United States, they are not stopping. We see that happening in Kwara State and many lost their life. It is a shame. But we cannot continue to sit back and complain. It is time for everyone to begin to take action, wherever you are. If you know what you can do to change the situation, if you know what you can do to defend yourself, please do not hesitate. The first line of defense today is you. The first line of defense is you, wherever you are in Biafra land, your families. If you're not in Biafra land, tell them that the first line of defense is they themselves. So they must know where they position themselves. They must know where they are at any given point in time. If you cannot protect yourself, nobody can protect you, more especially in Nigeria. Nobody anywhere. No military, no police, nothing will protect you. Your defense and your protection is in your own hand. And that is why I am urging everyone that have joined us today, this evening, to please, you have to do more. Tighten up your belt because the war ahead is even worse. Nigeria cannot know peace. The only thing that can restore peace in Nigeria is disintegration of the contraption called Nigeria. Without disintegration, Nigeria will never ever know peace. With the ethnic sentiment in Nigeria, with the hatred in Nigeria, with the chaos that we are seeing, with the state-sponsored violence and the British blueprint that we can see every day, there is nothing we can do. The colonial masters are involved in everything that's happening in Nigeria. In fact, the Nigeria is working the way they want it to work. So you must not allow them to take over. You're welcome, my beloved sister, Mazi Akere. Thank you so much for joining, Mazi, and every other person that joined here. I appreciate all of you. So, at this point in time, everybody must tighten up their belt because these people are not stopping. In fact, they are intensifying their attack, they are increasing their attack, and it is much more serious. When we say certain things, I don't know why people don't take us serious. Is it because we are speaking on social media? Is that why people don't take us serious? But at the end of the day, every single thing we have spoken about and predicted continues to happen in Nigeria. Everything continues to happen. We have been shouting and shouting and shouting and shouting that election cannot save Nigeria. Election cannot save life. Election will only deepen the atrocities. Election will only empower the evildoers, the fraudsters, the murderers. And that is what they are seeing today. They will not agree. They will tell you to go and get be fast, go and do this and do that. But today, you see that every single thing that we have been talking before, we have been saying, has just come to pass. It has just come to pass. Just like as we are asking now, that the only solution and the only remedy is the breakup of Nigeria. When we say the breakup is the solution, it is not out of hatred, it is not out of wickedness, it's not because we just want to talk. It is not because we hate anybody, but to save human life, because human life are on the line. If you want to save human life, the only way to save one is to end this contraption. End this contraption and establish a place where human life can be able to be respected. It doesn't matter the amount of soldiers the United States put on the ground. These very atrocities will continue. The only people that can defend themselves is the people, but they need empowerment. They need to know their boundary. Why do you have to wait for so long? How many people need to die more before Nigeria will disintegrate? How many people do you need to die more? How many people? You can see the confusion in the country. France is entering into bilateral deal, military deal, security deal. United States is there for security deal. Turkey is there for security deal. Conflict of interest here and there. Every one of us know what the United States of America stands for. We equally know what Turkey stands for. Turkey has been indicted in sponsoring terrorism in Nigeria so many times, but yet the government didn't fit to go and enter into deal with them. The confusion in Nigeria is huge. It is huge. And the only way one could survive is for you to be able to stand up for yourself and be at alert at all times. Nobody's going to fight for you. Nobody's going to save you. Nobody's going to secure you. If you don't do that for yourself, nobody will do it. That is why I urge everybody that is watching me, like and share this video to create awareness. Don't just watch alone. We must continue to create this awareness until everybody is awakened. The life of the indigenous people is in danger. Is in danger. And these terrorists are not stopping. They are even increasing their speed. I urge every one of you that have joined us, please, in the name of Chukwu Kabia, kindly pay attention to what is happening. Don't allow anybody to deceive you. Don't allow anybody to distract you. Prepare to defend yourself. You are the first line of defense. You yourself, you are the first line of defense. You have to do something for yourself before you can think of somebody doing for you. You see the attack that happened in Kwara State. The news had it that even the military were informed, but they couldn't do anything. They were informed, they were called upon. They could not come until the terrorists have finished operation and go. So nobody knows what is going to happen the next minute. Nobody knows what is going to happen in the next second. All we need to do is to position ourselves properly at all times so that we don't regret in the future. We need to position ourselves properly. We need to position ourselves in a way, in a manner that is going to attract the international communities to do what they have to do. It is so sad. It is so sad. The situation of Nigeria can never get better. Instead, it will be getting worse every day. And as long as it continues, we will continue to speak. Whether the world listen or they don't listen, we will continue to speak. At least, Chukwu Okaba will bear us witness that we spoke. Every single thing we are saying are reality. It is happening. Even in their conventional media, they are confirming it. Not just because we are saying. And we will continue to do what we have to do to present these informations before the whole world. Even when they try to tell their lies, we will debunk it. We will debunk their lies, expose them, and make sure that the truth is out there. All we want is the truth and nothing but the truth. And we make sure that the truth is there, make sure that the truth continues to lead, no matter what the enemies are doing. We are going to go into their media to hear what they have in their media this very day. Let us get into their media. You know why we do that? We always have to do that so that we can be able to digest what is going on. We can be able to interpret what is going on, debunk the lies where necessary, and also make sure that the world knows the true situation of things in that contraption. Let us pay attention and hear what they have to say in their commission.
President Bola Tinubu has ordered the deployment of an army battalion to Kayama local government, Kwara State, where Boko Haram terrorists overnight killed hapless villagers in war. President Tinubu said the new military command will spearhead Operation Savannah Shield to checkmate the barbaric terrorists and protect defenseless communities. He condemned the cowardly and beastly attack and described the gunmen as heartless for choosing soft targets in their doomed campaign of terror. President Tinubu expressed rage that the attackers killed the community members who rejected their obnoxious attempt at indoctrination, choosing instead to practice Islam that is neither extreme nor violent. The terrorist attack in Kwara State marks Nigeria's deadliest armed attack so far this year, according to a Red Cross official and local authorities. The assault occurred on Tuesday in War village in Kwara State. Residents said the attackers were jihadists who demanded residents abandon allegiance to the Nigerian state in favor of Sharia law. When villagers resisted, the gunmen opened fire. Deaths include women and children. Among those killed in the bloody onslaught are two wives of the Emir of War, several of his children, the chief imam of War, a school principal, a headmistress, and students who had just returned home from school. In a swift reaction, the Kwara State government has condemned the attack, calling it a diversionary ploy by bandits.
And of course, the more these challenges will be mitigated, inshallah. Well, at the moment, the state emergency services expect to the duration and to how to take care and to look at the members of the families. And the commander and the crimes and so on continue to sectors in the state to cover the southern flank, the northern flank. So we thank the security agencies for the work they do. The improvement structure should be from one part of the state to the other. Kwara doesn't so largely. And so
joining us from the show to bring us updates on what the state government is doing to bring those responsible to book is Rafiu Ajakaye, the Chief Press Secretary to Kwara State Governor. Good morning, Mr. Ajakaye. Thanks for joining us on the morning show today.
Good morning.
All right, Mr. Ajakaye, first of all, our commiserations to the governor and, of course, to the people of Kwara State. It's truly a sad morning today, but I'd like to just ask you, just straight to the question, what is the governor and the government doing in its first response to the atrocity, the bloodbath that happened yesterday into this morning in War?
What has happened to us in Kwara is nothing short of a tragedy. And all of us are downcast, we are saddened. And just yesterday, the governor, along with some government officials and security commander, yesterday, the commissary to the community where the unfortunate incident occurred. Like the secretary said in his interview with the media, it made it very clear that this is not going to go unchallenged. The government will do everything possible to bring justice to those who have perpetrated this evil against our people. And Mr. President has rightly announced a new battalion of soldiers to Kwara North, specifically in Kayama, to combat these terrorists. The government is also working with the local authorities to please work in synergy with the security agencies and to fish out local perpetrators who are conniving with these terrorists to inflict maximum pain on our people.
Okay, Rafi. Well, I don't know whether this is the appropriate time to wish you a happy new year. We've been having conflicting figures in terms of casualties. Even if it was one life or two that was lost, that would still be a cause for concern. Some people are reporting about 170 persons killed overnight in Kwara community. And the report also says the security agencies were informed, and yet the killing went on overnight, and the people did not receive any help. And now, as an afterthought, the Nigerian government is sending a whole battalion to come and help after people have been killed. The community has been destroyed. Now, just tell us, what is the truth about these details? The number of persons killed. Is it true also that the security agencies were informed ahead of time and they refused to cooperate? And then 3, that in fact the head of the community reported to the security agencies and that this is a case of sabotage. Because we're told that the terrorists are alleging that why would the village agent go and inform state agencies that they will come and then retaliation will kill so many people. Now those are the basic details we want to hear about.
Dr. Obati, the problem is that for every time the security agency and the government has to be correct 100% of the time. Unfortunately, as much as they try their best, as much as security agencies try their best, we unfortunately have this kind of incident occasionally. We are talking about Kayama here, which is about 3 times the size of Lagos State. It's a very vast area of land, and the security agency continue to do their best. But of course, we always need more hands, we always need more boots on the ground. And we are glad that the president has approved a new layer of military presence in the axis. As regards the issue of casualty, what we are able to confirm at the moment from the military commander who is in charge of the axis that initially he counted 64 and then additional 9 were also brought forward, and that was as of yesterday morning. And that brings the tally to 75. That is what we are able to confirm at the moment. Some people have spoken about some corpses in the bush and all of that, but we have not been able to confirm that. But like you mentioned, like rightly mentioned, even a single life is one loss too many, and we are very, very sad about all of this.
So I'm so sorry, Rafiu. Please confirm to me, Rafiu. They said the attack started by 5 p.m. and these criminals and terrorists continued till about 4 a.m. to 5 the following day. So they had 12 hours non-stop to decimate and destroy the community. Please confirm to me, when did the state government get their first distress call? If the attack started by 5 p.m. the day before, and they killed till about 5 a.m. the following morning.
Immediately, the government got a distress call about the unfortunate incident. Of course, security agencies were immediately mobilized.
What time?
And
What time did they get the distress call? The time?
Well, you know, I got a message about this at about 7 p.m. And if you check the time we issued a statement, you see that we issued a statement at about 8 p.m. And like I mentioned to you, security agents were mobilized. You have military men in that, and even Air Force aircraft were actually mobilized to the area. That was when the criminals retreated. Now, you know, when things like this happen, there will be different stories here and there. But the most unfortunate, the most important thing is that we lost
Rafiu, what time did the criminals retreat? If you said you mobilized at 7, you got the call issued at 8 p.m., what time did the criminals retreat? Because we have a variant story, and I'm going to tell you what the variant story is saying. They said the road to the place was in fact, even the motorcycle was bombed that stepped on that booby trap. So what time did the military get there, and what time did they respond and quell the attack? Because they said the attack still went until 5 in the morning.
What I can say is that the military responded as soon as possible, as soon as they got the distress call. I'm unable to put the specific timeline at that time, but what I heard and what I know, and even the report that I got from the TSS, because from security report, is that the military has been mobilized, different agencies have been mobilized, including the fighter jet that made them to retreat. Timeline to that. Because I wasn't there when this happened.
But what I'm telling you is what the eyewitnesses reported. They said it was 5 o'clock, the attack went for 12 hours. But thank you, Rafiu. Commiseration. Sorry about what happened in your state.
Right, well, thank you very much, Rafiu Ajaka, Chief Press Secretary. Efforts now being made to at least restore some kind of calm and reassurance to residents in that area, or what are the efforts also made to ensure that we do not see either a reprisal attack or even further attacks by these groups in these areas?
Left Ilorin at about 2:30 p.m. yesterday with several layers of security forces, and we just returned this morning at about 7:30 a.m. and we left more than a battalion of soldiers in this place with armor tank and different equipment. And we have been assured that the presidency, the Office of the National Security Advisor, are also doing more to give us security, not just now in Kwara South, where we have some breaches also, and a lot of successes have been recorded in that axis. We just work harder And then we also continue to tell our people to work more with security forces and to fish out those who continue to collide with these criminals.
Rafiu, now the troops that have been deployed by the federal government of Nigeria, are they on the ground? Yama local government area. Just give us the latest development. We've been talking about the deaths, the killings.
We left Kama, which is the headquarters of the local government, at about 11:30 p.m. last night. And we go to Kwara, where the unfortunate incident happened at about 1 a.m. And when we got there, we met several soldiers, armored tanks, and some other military equipment, and we left them there. And even as we were traveling back to Ilorin this morning, we met a couple of them on the way. So the government is not leaving any chances, but more importantly is that we appeal to our people to continue to work with the security forces. Perpetrators who give intelligence to these criminals.
Okay, thank you so much, Rafiu. We'll be taking on the village head of Waro village, Alhaji Umar Bio Salihu, that is joining us. And Alhaji, so sorry, our commiserations. It is very sad what happened. Alhaji, please, I'd like to ask you, at what time did you people call the government, the first distress call? Because from some of the things you are told Daily Trust before, we hear that the attack happened from about 5 p.m. to about 4 a.m. the following day. So at what time did you call the government? And at what time did the military respond? Alhaji?
Yes, sir. It happened after 5. Immediately, we alerted the security agents, and before they came down, it was midnight, around 3 o'clock.
You alerted the security agents as the thing happened after 5, but they didn't come until by 3 o'clock, right?
3 a.m.
So they came by 3 a.m. So that was from 5 p.m. to about 3 a.m. That's about 10 hours. The military only came 10 hours after. Secondly, when the military came, did they have air force with them? Did you hear about planes there? Did they engage the bandits? Did they kill the terrorists? Did they kill some of them?
In fact, exactly when the incident started around 2 to 3 hours ago, there's a plane that took off from Nibusa that is doing some surveillance. We don't know whether he has bombed them or not, but we see planes going all over the places. Exactly.
Okay, so that means that plane didn't engage them. The plane didn't interdict. It didn't throw any armory at them. But when the military came, did they kill the bandits? Did they kill the terrorists? Did they engage them when they came?
No, before they came, they had left that place. What they do was that they plant a bomb on their way, so that if they are coming, the bomb will affect the military men. So God willing, one trailer came before the military, and the bomb now bombed the whole trailer.
The military did not attack them. The bandits had gone when the military came.
All right, okay, Alhaji Salihu, I'm so sorry about what happened. Now, according to a professor from that close to your town, he mentioned that you played a critical role, or at least a significant role in this, what happened. That you had received a letter, which you then reported to security agents, and it's based on that they felt that it was audacious and they came to attack and kill. Can you please verify what really transpired? What happened?
Thank you, ma'am. I think about a month ago, they brought a letter that they serve my own community and the community very close to me, local community, that they are coming down to come and preach. So I received the letter. Immediately I received the letter, I was at the DSS in Kayama. The following day, I took the letter to the Emirates, and I told the necessary information must have gone to the appropriate quarters. So they wanted to come, but the militaries went there for patrol. Initially, we have a military base there. We have about 15 soldiers there. So they are about 5 or 3 months ago, they came there to attack those militaries. Since then, they evacuated there. We don't have any security presence in that area, in that our assets, and that will give them that right to come anytime, they enter anytime, and do whatever they like.
Okay, sir, I would like you to just assist us with a number of clarifications. One, that these persons who attacked the community, that they belong to the Mahmuda terrorist group, and that they were trying to impose a different kind of doctrine on the community.
Exactly.
Two, also clarify for us the fact that the persons who were killed, all the victims, are Muslims, and that this is a Muslim on Muslim attack, not Muslim on Christian, because that would then clarify the nature of the kind of crisis that we have in Nigeria. Three, another clarification that we need from you. You were said to have contacted the authorities, but that somehow somebody in the security side, on the security side, went ahead to inform these Mahmuda terrorists and gave them information. And it was because you had reported the incident asking for help 1 month earlier that the terrorists now came and attacked the Kwara community. These are the basic issues, in some of the reports that I have read.
Exactly. And so when they wrote the letter and we informed the security agents, the enemies are going there for patrol. In 50 days, when they see our media, they cannot come. And our people are not ready to take that their ideology. I think that is what makes them angry to come and attack the communities. So when they came, I think they killed about, as of yesterday, we were able to bury 75 people. But as I'm speaking with you, there are some cops that are still lying in the bush. This morning we trace them. Although the people they killed, they are almost Muslim. 95.5%. The Muslims are 95 and the Christians are 5%. They are not all Muslims. There are Christians there, but there are not many Muslims that meant they killed. That's exactly what happened.
Before you go, can you tell us the name of the person you as a village head reported to? And then your report leaked, and we are faced with this kind of messy situation. Do you know the person? Do you know the particular officer of state that you reported to? That we have received a letter, people are coming to attack us because we were told that there was leakage, intelligence leakage.
Exactly. When they brought the letter directly to me, and that night I was up the letter, I sent it to the DSS Kayama. Then the following day, I took the letter by myself to the Emirates Council, and they photostat the letter. In that respect, I think they wrote the appropriate contact. So that's what happened with regards to that letter. Thank you.
All right, thank you. Just very quickly before you go, what is the mood of the people right now? Do they feel reassured by the efforts made by the state government so far, or is there what more would you like the state government to do at this time?
The government is there yesterday. He came to Kayama. It is nice. He sees that he has to go there. I'm sorry. You see things by himself. We went there to 12 and then we came back to 3 yesterday night before he came back to Ilorin. He went there and see things by himself. You see the number of destruction they made. They bought almost half of the villages, including my house. You see, they even made some costs. Lying down up to now, we cannot bury all of them because people are tired yesterday. They bury. We have to reach some costs this morning. The government is there and immediately they sweep into action. They direct the county, barrack to provide certified soldiers, which are presently they are there now. The 13 provided 15, and with some foreign guys, I think there are about 80 security agents that are there presently now.
Right. That's good to hear. Thank you so much, Alhaji Salihu. Thank you. I hope you all keep safe out there, and thank you for the work that you did. We really applaud you. Thank you. The federal government has clarified reports in other news surrounding the presence of United States troops in Nigeria, stressing that their deployment is limited to intelligence support and training as part of ongoing cooperation to combat terrorism and insurgency. The clarification followed an announcement on Tuesday by the United States Africa Command, AFRICOM, confirming the deployment of a small team of American personnel to Nigeria. Speaking in Dakar, AFRICOM Commander General Davin Anderson said the deployment was made at Nigeria's request and was focused strictly on intelligence assistance. However, the announcement sparked widespread speculation and concern over Nigeria's sovereignty, prompting the Defense Minister, General Christopher Musa, retired, to address the issue. In a chat with the BBC, Musa explained that the US personnel were not combat troops, but a small advisory team supporting intelligence gathering and training initiatives. He did not disclose details regarding the size of the team, the arrival date, location, or duration of stay. Moving on, the Senate on Wednesday finally passed the much-anticipated Electoral Act Amendment Bill 2026, rejecting the proposal that allows presiding officers to electronically transmit election results from polling units to INEC IREV portal in real time. The upper legislative chamber retains the provision of the old Electoral Act 2022, which allows for manual counting of votes and also allows presiding officers to transfer election results in a manner as prescribed by the Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC. In October 2023, the Supreme Court of Nigeria ruled that the electronic transmission of election results was not mandatory under the Electoral Act 2022. The court affirmed that the Independent National Electoral Commission had the legal authority and discretion to determine the specific mode for transmitting and collating election results. The action of the senators came to many Nigerians as a rude shock because their counterparts in the House of Representatives had passed the landmark provision 2 months ago, which drew applause from stakeholders who saw it as a major step to guaranteeing electoral integrity in the country. All right, so three major stories this morning. Of course, the first one, we've had quite a deep discussion with both deep dive, getting more clarity with regards to what happened in Waro village in Kayama local government area of Kwara State, and then of course the Minister of Defense coming out to give some clarifications to the announcement that we have US troops here in Nigeria. And finally, disappointment, I would say, describes some of the feelings of what happened following the Electoral Act Amendment.
As regards to US troop, I've always said they were here for recce, recce, logistics training. That's pretty much America would not come and put combat boots on the ground here. Not really the case. I mean, it's going to be part of the ongoing relationship. I mean, this is not the first time things like that happen. As regards the Senate, I'm not surprised either. Yesterday, if you remember, I made the arguments that this was the argument they were going to make. They were going to say, no adequate technology, no adequate network and things like that. But it just shows that they cannot fully go for a free and fair election because they know they will lose. That's what politicians are doing. So it is obvious that they will never won an election freely. Why do they keep opting for the coalition center? Because they know coalition center is a rigging ground. Have you forgotten elections when Rocha Sokorocha was vying for Senate seats? That the coalition officer in the coalition center was saying, I'm announcing this result under duress, and the result stood. So it is the coalition center they know how to manipulate. So you see, with this use of technology, they have seen, okay, even if people don't vote for us in the polling units, we'll turn the elections around in the coalition center. And that's why they will never allow IREF to be the independent arbiter so that we can cut off the coalition center. So that once you post results from the polling units, it goes to IRF and we start to see results of them. So they are not ready, It's the hypocrisy. It's the hypocrisy they do. They only do things to favor them. Even people, the people that are selling PVCs, they said they should not give them 10-year ban from election. You know what they said? They should give them 5 million fine because they know they're going to pay the fine easily. Please, they are already selling PVC in most parts of the country. Political parties are harvesting and buying PVC, but people are buying for 50 or 60,000 naira. So we know all of that is happening. As regards what happened in Kwara, like I always say, there's no security in this country. May God, I pray for you, Dr. Abati, I pray for you, I pray for you watching me. May God not allow Nigeria happen to all of us, because if it happens to you, you have no security. Look at how the Kwara State Chief Press Secretary was saying that as he called the military responded at the time, thank God for Alani Pio that came out to clarify that it took them 10 hours to be able to respond. So it shows that there's no security, there's massive level of complicity. We commend the military where they do it, but on this, there is no security. May God save all of us.
All right, Dr. Martin.
Okay, the most important story this morning would definitely be the killings in Kwara community in Kayama local government area in the Kwara State. And it's not just Kwara State. We also had incidents in Niger State. In January, 3 churches were attacked. Over 170 persons were said to have.
Excuses. Nigeria is full of excuses. You will never see Nigeria doing something in a serious manner. What you continue to hear is excuse upon excuse upon excuse. Every day you hear one excuse or the other. When are they going to stop giving excuse? When are they going to stop excusing? They will continue to excuse at every given opportunity. But for us, we are here. We are watching them. As they play, we go to show them and we go to expose them. All these their lies, propaganda, and blackmail, right, left, and center. This is something that we must pay attention to and address it. And we will expose them anytime they come. Let's also listen to this aspect again and hear what they got to say.
Thank you very much for staying with us. Now, the United States has deployed a small team of military personnel to Nigeria, the first official U.S. military presence on the ground since airstrikes targeted terrorists on Christmas Day 2025. The deployment of Nigeria, the deployment to Nigeria follows airstrikes ordered by President Donald Trump in December 2025 on what he described as Islamic State targeting Christians in the country. Well, Trump had also indicated that further U.S. military action in Nigeria could follow. Now, the U.S. had reportedly been conducting surveillance flights over Nigeria from neighboring countries like Ghana since late November 2025, providing intelligence support ahead of the December strike. The team would support Nigeria's counterterrorism efforts. Now, security sources said the Americans are likely involved or would likely be involved in intelligence gathering and assisting Nigerian forces in targeting groups such as Boko Haram and Islamic State West African Province ISWAP. This comes as about 170 casualties have been recorded in a recent attack by armed bandits on Woro and Nubu communities in the Kayama local government area on Tuesday. According to a lawmaker, Saidu Ahmed, lawmaker further described the attack as the deadliest in recent times, adding several people were still missing as of Wednesday morning. Now, when the police spokesperson was contacted for statement, that's police spokesperson Abuto Ejire Adeyemi, well, he said that the police and the military had been mobilized to the area for a search and rescue operation. Over. Well, this is a case of insecurity spiraling, as some would say, out of control. Well, we do have our analysts to help make sense of this. We have Daily Final, a public affairs commentator. We also have Mazi Hebrew, public affairs commentator. And joining us from the Solomon, Ethiopia, will be joining the conversation. He's the Executive Director, Youth Empowerment Advocacy and Good Governance Initiative. On the joint conversation, gentlemen. Good morning. Good morning to you. Good morning. Yesterday, it was in the papers yesterday. U.S. the president's interaction with American authorities and the fact that the United States Army would be on ground in Nigeria. But let's even take it back a little. Let's take it back to prior to the December 25 attack. We had Sheikh Gumi here on this program, and he talked about what would happen if America came to Nigeria saying that they are fighting for Christians. All right, he did say quite a lot of things. If we could, we'll put up that video of him saying those things, the statements that he made. But he said, look, they take up arms against Christians. And right after that attack, we've seen quite a number of other attacks. We've seen, abductions in hundreds. And this is just the second month in the year 2026. From January up until this time, hundreds of people have been abducted. Hundreds more have been killed. And we also can see, statements that he made about using some terrorist groups to further combat the likes of Lakurawa and the rest. I mean, these are statements that Sheikh Gumi made, and it feels like it feels like a prophet right now, because we've seen the NSA contract some individuals as they go on to help, give them logistics, vehicles, and arms to combat, to guard the forest and the rest of them. And we've also seen a doubling down of bandit attacks around, the hinterlands and the rest of them. Is it that our government would you say government has failed in this area of securing lives and property? We have seen a situation where, in some cases, there was an attack, governments initially in that area denied, and later we realized that truly it took place. Can you say,
well, it's not complete failure to actually condemn government. Government security apparatus in the country currently is overwhelmed. And you see, when we dovetailed into these 170 killing, I noticed that we were a little bit crestfallen. As a matter of fact, I've not been myself since yesterday, honestly, and I almost had nightmare, because I just imagine if you slaughter chickens 170 at a go, it's a huge heap, and it can be overwhelming. Not imagining human beings who woke up and had various plans, and just like that, we just terminated their lives in cold blood. And the only excuse is that you wanted to impose your religion on them, and they resisted. And this is a country that is secular in nature, that you are allowed to practice your religion, to have the freedom of association, and just like that, 170. And as a matter of fact, even the traditional ruler of that community is not yet found. Other people that probably escaped into the bush, some of them would have had bullet wounds that they would not be able to call in paramedics to take care of them, and they would have died in the process. So we're just still counting. This morning I read in the papers that it's 175 as at this moment,
but the numbers are increasing.
The numbers are increasing.
This is in the West, Kwara State.
Kwara State, for that matter. The point is,
what does that say? What does that say to the situation
You recall that
it seems to be
yes.
down.
You recall that when the 25th December attack happened, I said these guys are going to disperse. I'm going to remain in one particular spot where there will be soft targets. And that is exactly what has happened now. It's going to be very difficult for the military to track them.
You think so?
Yes, it's going to be very difficult. Because they're not going to converge again. So that people will, they will not be isolated in a particular place. Now, they're coming southwards. They limited themselves to the middle belt. Kwara shares the same boundary with Oyo State, with Osun State, and Ekiti State. So you can imagine what could have happened. And Kogi also shares boundary with Ondo State and Edo State. So it's like these guys have found every. Of course, you know that because of the nature of the forest in the north, it's easier to identify them. But this part of the country, the southern part of the country, is a place where you can hide in the forest and you will not be easily located even by drone. So it's a big problem that I don't know. Each time I try to figure out how this problem will be solved, I get scared. Because you can imagine the whole of the south is densely populated, whereas the north is sparsely populated. So what you will do in the north that would generate like 170 deaths. Now imagine if it were to be in the south, where even the smallest village will have an average of between 3,000 to 5,000 inhabitants.
All right, let me come to Mazi and now. Mazi, down south, 170 deaths, it's not, it's been reoccurring, these things from the beginning of the year. Would you say that Nigeria probably should not have even allowed or given the US, the go-ahead to attack? Should we have just found a way? Because some Nigerians are saying, let's go back to negotiating with these terrorists. Wouldn't that mean that Nigeria has, the government has completely failed? Because that's the voice that is coming from social media. Some Nigerians on social media, especially those that are being affected. If you want my sincere opinion, which is what I want actually,
I would say that the government has failed in the fight against insecurity. She has failed. And inviting America is one of the things this government have done to be able to, tinker with this problem. You could have imagined why, these people are so emboldened now. This is fight to finish. I think they are being pushed to the walls. They want to make statements that they cannot be disseminated. So what I would want to see now that the American boots are on the ground in Nigeria is to intensify these efforts. No breathing space, bumper to bumper, as it were, so that these people can be, tamed as it were. We don't need to treat them with kid gloves. Now, you rightly pointed out the surge to the south, and like Dele rightly pointed out, if it comes down to the south, particularly the southwest, that would be the, it will show a very, solid state of Nigeria. The Sudans of this world, some of these things we are looking at 15 years ago, Somalia of this world and all that, will be a child's play, yes, and all that. So I think it is not a mistake, it is the right step in the right direction that
East America are here now. Before we proceed, I would like for us to watch a video of Prophet Isa El Buba, when he gave a press conference and he basically explained the plight of northern region Christians as he thanked Trump. Let's take that video and then we'll come back and talk about this.
And I'm speaking specifically to Nigerians, also in the diaspora. Nobody wins a war for their homeland from outside the law. Victory requires internal collaboration and one united voice abroad. I want to celebrate and appreciate the President of the United States of America for hearkening to the voice and the cry of the Nigerian people. And what you have done, just speaking on behalf of the persecuted, the killed, and the murdered communities, has done a lot that has not happened in over 20 years. And we commend the action of the United States and also all the people that have been able to pull their energies together. Genocide has been on for all these years. But right now we can testify that we're beginning to see the change in terms of the attitude and the behavior of the government of Nigeria and the terrorists. We are gathered here not because Nigeria is weak, but because Nigeria is bleeding. What began as persecution of Christians community has spilled over into also the killing of moderate Muslims, particularly the houses, and the destruction of the entire place. The perpetrators are very clear. They are Fulani killer headsmen and the Aswa and the jihadist network that have pulled their strength and energy together to fight the church and go after anyone who calls upon the name of the Lord, especially in northern Nigeria. I have been part of the funeral of several thousands of Christians that have been massacred overnight. One of the places, the 1 hour, where over 500 Christians were killed in one night. In one of the communities that I have rebuilt, it's called Kwara in Plateau State. Over 210 people were massacred and killed one night, not because of their skin color, not because of their cultural background, but because they are called by the name of the Lord Jesus Christ.
Isa El Buba, talking about America's involvement there. Oh well, and we also have joining us from Benin, Solomon Igiobe. I'll come to you shortly. But before we do that, let's also look at a message that came from the Kwara State government. Kwara State, of course, not central Nigeria. That message from the governor's office. Let's have that message up on the screen. It says, this is breaking. The governor, Admiral A.A. Rahman, who arrived in Kayama tonight in company of service chiefs and cabinet members, says 75 local Muslims were massacred simply for refusing to surrender to the extremists who preached a strange doctrine. Now, we're still toward the line of whether it is a Christian genocide or Christian and Muslim being killed. Is that necessary at this point, gentlemen? Mazi, is it necessary? We're talking about 175 and counting people that have been killed. And we're also being told that these people that have been chosen will kill it. It's just to preach. Before now, they come to preach and say, look, accept Sharia, accept. And because the people turned them down in their numbers, that look, we don't want this. They were rounded up, hands tied behind their backs, and execution style, killed. Some of them heads cut off, for some of them. I mean, I couldn't even see them. I couldn't stand watching the video. And we're still talking about, oh no, it's not just Christians, it's Muslims. At least, does it seem like we're serious
This is impunity of the highest order. You see, it started small. The narrative was that Christians were being killed and all that. And a lot of measures were put in place to really legitimate this practice of government. Now it has escalated. They're making a statement, just like the Prophet said, moderate Muslims, who refuse indoctrination and also be part of it. Now the thing is assuming a wider dimension. That was why when we were talking earlier, we said, well, probably it's not just Christians, there are killers in Nigeria. Now that it is becoming obvious that the moderate Muslims are also, victims of this dastardly act, it now behoves the government to really take steps towards, solving this problem.
Okay, all right. Before we go to the main guest, so we're talking about solving these problems. Now we have Americans on the ground. I'd like for us to talk about American involvement. When after the 9/11, then National Security Advisor Condoleezza Rice, who later became the Secretary of State under the same administration, said, well, after a brief memorial for the people that died, said, now we have buried the dead, let us protect the living. We are talking about it, and what do we do to protect the living? America is here. If you understand these things, we have the Northwest, we have the North Central, we have the Northeast. And now these regions have their different kind of challenges, they present different kind of challenges in terms of these ways. Northwest claimed by banditry that is mixed with some form of jihadism now, as we see. In the Northeast, it was clearly terrorism, Boko Haram. In the North Central, it's about killer headsmen and all of them. We have Americans, like footprint, by the way. But we expect that this life footprint is going to solve the problem across the region. We are not even talking about Islam.
That is what you see in all the contraption called Nigeria, all their news. It is always one problem or the other. It is always one chaos or the other, rising from all directions, from all angles. And when we talk about these things, people do not understand. Some people think maybe we are making up words. Some think we don't know what we are saying. But I bet you, it doesn't matter. It does not matter what you think. It doesn't matter what you feel or how you feel it. The truth remains that Nigeria is a failed state. The contraption called Nigeria has failed completely, and there's nothing anybody can do about that. The contraption has failed. So when we begin to present this, and the reason I go to their conventional media to bring this news is that when we say it without bringing it out, some people will think that maybe we are creating our own news. Some people will think maybe we are playing. That is why it is important that we present it and bring it out so that you will see it. Maybe when you see it, you will now understand how bad the situation is. Because there are so many people who doesn't know that the situation is bad. They continue to pretend it's not happening. Just like in this very program now, you see some people are still busy trying to interpret, trying to translate, trying to say things that doesn't really make sense. They are trying to blame. This is not the time to blame anybody. This is not the time to talk about anybody. This is not the time to begin to tell us who is right and who is not right. This is the time to make the actual report. They are still talking about whether it is Christian that is killed or it is Muslim that is killed. How could you be reporting such? Does that really matter? Does that really matter? The most important thing that this is about jihad. And in this jihad issue, you know that anybody that refuses to accept Sharia will be a victim. So when we say genocide against the Christians remain the main target. Why some Muslims are involved? Because of collateral damage. The moderate ones, the moderate Muslims are involved. They are also victims. So nothing changes. But they always try to create that impression that I don't know what even their media is the worst. The media is the worst. But we will continue to use their own report to judge them. In their own report, we will use their own report to expose them. We use their own report to judge them. We will use their own report to show what they are doing. And that is what we will continue to do.
Good morning.
Good morning, Rufa.
So no matter what they say, no matter what they do, we will continue to expose all their evil, all the lies and atrocities they are spilling out there. We will continue to expose it. We will never allow it to lie. No matter how they try to hide it, we will continue to expose all those lies to the world, and the world will continue to see it.
Strengthened with the horrific news emanating from Kwara State, where a lawmaker, Saidu Baba Ahmed, is saying that almost 200 people were killed by terrorists after they violently attacked the villages of Nuku and Woro.
You see, the number is changing. The other time they said 170. The government is saying 75. Now another report says more than 200. This is Nigeria for you. You can never hear the truth. And I'm telling you that people that have died in these very incidents is more than 200. There will be more than 200. But you see the government side, they were saying it's just 75. And they call each other human being. We are talking about human being. The village, the local government reporter there said 150. And now it's 200 plus. They continue to lie and lie and lie. Let us hear the latest update.
On Tuesday evening, according to the lawmaker, the terrorists invaded area around 6 p.m. local time and set the King's Palace, shops, and homes on fire. The attack was confirmed on Wednesday by the governor, Abdurrahman Abdurazak, who stated that 75 Muslims were massacred for refusing to surrender to extremists.
Because they absolutely refuse a change in doctrine in the faith, they were attacked and massacred. It's different from what we used to see, where subjects were kidnapped for ransom. But this was just a pure massacre, and example truly condemned. But these challenges will be mitigated, inshallah. But at the moment, the state emergency services is going through the enumeration and for how to take care and look over the members of the families.
I mean, this they've described as the deadliest attack, almost unimaginable that this occurred just back to back after. I mean, it's been a horrible year so far, Ayo. I mean, the attack of this magnitude is really, really horrifying. May all of their souls rest in peace. And I'd like to take Farouk Perogi's post. I mean, that he released a statement. He wrote, people familiar with what happened in the village of Woro, Kayama local government area, said that the bloodbath started yesterday evening and continued into the morning hours of today. The trigger for the mass massacre was a decision by the district head of the village, by the name Alhaji Saliu Umar, to inform the authorities of a letter the community received from the terrorists stating that they would be coming to preach in the village at an unspecified date. The village head suspected that the terrorists known to locals as Mahmuda were up to no good. So he did what all law-abiding people would do, report to the security forces. It turned out, however, that the terrorists appeared to have informants among the security forces the village head reported to. The terrorists were incensed that the village head had the temerity to report them to the security forces and decided to go on a mass murdering spree. In retaliation, it is not the first time the Mahmuda terrorists have done such a thing in that community. The photos of slaughtered and mutilated bodies of innocent men, women, and children that my people shared with me have immobilized me and will probably haunt me for days. I did see some of those visuals. Really, really horrific. You know, women, children, the king's family killed. And we had our reporter on ground. We even had our reporter yesterday saying that he was there counting bodies and he was weak. Ayo. No, this is a very sad day for not just Kwara State, but for the whole of Nigeria. Yes. And a number of people have been talking about it earlier today. Just corroborating what Mr. Farouk Barobi said, we had Alhaji Saliu himself come to speak about what happened. He described the fact that they received letters ahead of time. Number one, this shows the brazenness of the terrorists to the fact that they felt confident enough to write. It reminds me of the days when robbers would write to a neighborhood in some parts of Lagos and Nigeria and say, "We're coming," and nothing will be done. He also speaks to the inefficiency in this regard of security agents. It means it's almost an open dare to them. However, the military has continued to demonstrate their efforts to tackle insecurity, even though we're asking for more. Now, beyond that, was that he went to report the matter as any upright citizen of the country and a community leader of his stature should have done. But what he met was a betrayal, a massive betrayal of trust, because someone within the agency, the GSS agency or the agency, the security agents, went to divulge this information to the enemies, who then, becoming upset, just what Mr. Franklin said. And so, a number of things to address here. In the same way as we had with the school kidnapping, yes, where someone leaked intelligence to the security operatives, and we said, who ordered the soldiers to withdraw? We don't have an answer to that yet. In the same vein, we're asking, who was the person that received intelligence information, and can we track the number of people in that chain who had information and begin investigation there? Let this not go. If not, we keep wasting our time. These are preventable deaths. Yes. These are preventable atrocities, because if something had been done following the letter that was written, perhaps we wouldn't be where we are today. Then beyond that is the fact that we must look at how, response time, because another thing that was asked this morning was, at what point were the soldiers called in? They were called at 5 p.m. They arrived at 3 a.m. That means that they arrived 10 hours. So what are the bottlenecks that we face with regards to emergency response? Perhaps the number of deaths that were recorded would not have been recorded. It's a sad day for the community. Unfortunately, what this does is that it continues to spread fear amongst people in Kwara State and neighboring environments, and I dare say the whole of Nigeria, because the question is, who's next? If we're not arresting, if we're not prosecuting significantly, then Nigerians cannot go to bed with their two eyes closed that the government has security under control, and that's a sad situation. But the government say that they are on top of this. Let's see what they will do after. They are on top of it. This is the same question, the same Kwara State. This is the question a lot of people are asking. I mean, it's not new that it's operating in Kwara State, especially. Why deploy troops after the fact? What if we have troops? Why don't you just put them on ground? People have died needlessly. Someone's saying 200 people. 200 in one day. May their souls rest in peace. Meanwhile, the United States military has confirmed that American troops have been deployed to Nigeria, marking the first official acknowledgement of U.S. boots on the ground since Washington launched airstrikes on Christmas Day. General Dagbin Anderson, head of U.S. Africa Command, announced on Tuesday that the small team with unique capabilities has been sent to Nigeria following increased security cooperation between both nations. The deployment came after Anderson's meeting with President Tinubu in Rome last year. Nigeria's Defense Minister Christopher Musa confirmed the presence of the U.S. personnel, but provided no further details. Meanwhile, the House Foreign Affairs Africa Subcommittee held a hearing on Wednesday titled Defending Religious Freedom Around the World, with U.S. congressmen calling out Nigeria as a country violating religious freedom, well, according to former U.S. Ambassador Sam Brownback. Nigeria is at risk of descending into widespread Christian-Muslim violence, with Brownback describing Nigeria as the deadliest place on the planet to be a Christian. And Rafai, this was the conversation about this Kwara attack. They call them jihadists, the people that were there. But I call them terrorists, whether they are jihadists or not. They were out there trying to indoctrinate people in Kwara State, and because they refused to, cower to the religion, they massacred them. That's one of the stories out there.
Let's go back to the definition of a genocide.
Yes.
The definition talks a lot about intent. All right. In this case, in this massacre case, was there intent? Yes. The intent was to spread doctrines. They massacred Christians, they massacred Muslims. So can we all agree that it's a genocide? Because you see, in also having this conversation, it's how we situate the conversation. A lot of people were trying to run around and deny, there's no Christian genocide. No. And I've said many times, I can say boldly there's Christian genocide. I can also say there's genocide against Muslims in the country. But can we both agree that there's a genocide going on in Nigeria? Because with this case, does it pass the test of intent? It does. Secondly, the case about complicity. Till today, the Nigerian state does not have, and please, let me be a bearer of bad news. Okay. Attacks like this will happen again. No, please, see, it's not by God saying God from people.
I always pray.
No, see, okay, it's not for the words of prayer. If it's by prayer, the amount of prayer that goes out in churches every Sunday, Nigeria will not have one smell of insecurity. But it's not by prayer. It's by walking and praying. We pray, but we are not doing the aspect of walking. What is the walking? Intelligence, reconnaissance, holding people accountable. Oji, I can bet you that those that leaked the secret to terrorist groups, those that were complicit, they will never be revealed. We should not even investigate further, Oji. How did the village head call this news boy by 5 o'clock? They didn't come after 3. And it was when the terrorists finished that they came. Who is protecting them? They said they put booby traps on the road. They call you by 5, reconnaissance. When I was asking Rafiu, the chief president, he was trying to dodge it. You see, in this country too, you will not want to talk against your master or talk against. They said they got the very well. The people they didn't come until 3 o'clock. I raised a very important point as regards the killing girls. That was how they ordered the military to leave there and the attack happened. So who is in charge of all of this? Who are the complicit bad eggs? Hoji, as long as we've not targeted the complicit bad eggs, it's going to happen again because it didn't only happen in Kwara, it happened in Katsina, it happened in other parts. Hoji, it's just that same level of complicity that happened in Kaduna, that terrorists killed, picked 177 people. The local government chairman went there and told them, please don't talk about it, don't reveal this. And guess what? It was because the people revealed it. Till today, the local government chairman is still working free. The police was also complicit. The police also tried to cover it. Hoji, in the case where you can't trust the police, trust security architecture, trust the fact that you give intelligence. And that's why when people say, give us intelligence about what is happening, you are so scared you don't know who to talk to. In the case you can't trust all of that, then there's the culture of complicity. Hoji, it will happen constantly again. See, I don't know who said it to, but they cease to say that if an insurrection happens for more than 24 hours in the country, there's an element of complicity. The complicity is so wild in this country that you and I will be here and will report the next attack, which might be a couple of days from now, except we change.
We need to target these terrorists. Now, we're getting reports that at least 4 young Nigerians recruited to fight for Russia in the war with Ukraine were killed on the battlefield, according to investigations by the Daily Nigerian. The 4 Nigerians were all recruited under false pretenses of a security job, which ultimately led to their deaths on the front lines. The report indicated that the young men died at different points between December 2025 and January 2026, with the news of their killings first revealed in a secret WhatsApp group. Their journey to Russia began after an informal acceptance of the so-called security job offer by the Nigerian agent identified as Eniola Mohammed. Mohammed reportedly worked with the Russian embassy in Abuja to bring the young men to Russia, where they were promised a monthly salary of 200,000 rubles, which is the equivalent of about 3.6 million naira, among other perks. But as soon as they arrived in Russia, they signed a Russian contract with no English translation and were shipped off for training, while CNN's Larry Madowo had covered a similar story about Africans recruited to fight for Russia. Well, here's a snippet.
What is your name? Mazi. This disturbing video appears to show an African recruit in the Russian army with a landmine strapped to his chest. He is being ordered to storm Ukrainian positions on the front lines.
I didn't see it. It is so traumatizing. Francis is my son.
Francis is among a growing number of African men fighting for Russia in Ukraine. I've spoken to about a dozen of them from Ghana, Kenya, Uganda, and Nigeria, who say they were forced into the Russian army and onto the front lines with barely any training. How long was the training? Many told me they were offered well-paying civilian jobs like drivers or electricians, and the money was good.
They are lying to people. The money that they tell them they pay, that is not true.
Most of the African fighters in Ukraine told me they're desperate to escape, but there's no way out. They feel trapped in a war with countless casualties and even racism from their Russian commanders.
You need to escape or you die. That's what we do.
This is real. This is what is happening. 4 Nigerians among those dead. Well, the Russian embassy in Abuja has yet to comment publicly on this report, but it is concerned. Last year, Ukraine stated that over 1,400 Africans were fighting in the war for Russia.
Well, this is unfortunate, and it takes us back to the economic conditions in many African countries about the crisis of unemployment. Now, Larry Madowo has put up the story and he referenced other African countries. The most celebrated one was the case of South Africa, when about 17 young men were found to be fighting in the Donbass region in the Russia-Ukraine war. And then another story about one of the daughters of former President Jacob Zuma accusing his sister of having been involved in sending some relatives abroad. And that showed us at that time that, look, these young men are promised jobs in Russia, and under the pretense of, being sent to go and find jobs and gain employment, they then end up being sent to the war front, in a war in which they have no stake. And they are given training of not more than 2 weeks. Some of them have never even handled a rifle. So you find the South African case, there's also the Kenyan case, and now this morning, we are seeing Nigerians have also been killed in Russia-Ukraine war. Now, innocent boys who are just looking for jobs, just the same way people are also trafficked abroad to go and either become mates in the Middle East and they end up doing something else, or they are trafficked to go and get jobs in Italy, and then our sisters, become some other kind of, adult service providers in parts of Europe. So this is about trafficking, and I think, it's also about governance. So African countries need to be more vigilant and make sure that innocent young men are not just recruited to go and take jobs abroad. In terms of governance, we need to provide for our people at home. And then there must be a system for checking. If somebody says, I found a job in Russia, which kind of job are you going to take there? This is a classic case of the admonition, although the reference by the original author was to politics, that you don't have to die in their war. No. I think it's a sad realization that Nigerians, Ugandans, Kenyans, Ghanaians, South Africans are dying in their war in Europe, between Russia and Ukraine, becoming mercenaries because their countries disappoint them and they are subjected to the worst conditions possible. I think our Foreign Affairs Ministry and the relevant government agencies, should engage first in public education, enlightenment, to tell people if they tell you there is a job in Russia, just be sure. The caveat is buyer beware.
Well, let's head over to Kanu State, where a video that has sparked public fear and outrage shows a herder openly wielding a gun in broad daylight while leading a herd of cattle. The incident reportedly took place in Dawanu. Well, let's Let's take a look. Right, that was a very short clip of that man. I'm sure you saw that man, Ayo, wielding that gun. And you know, we haven't heard from the governor of the state, Abba Yusuf, on this incident, or the Kanu State Police Command on whether this individual has been apprehended. Users on social media have expressed concern about public safety, given, you know, the business and the surrounding area, and, you know, also questioning the fact that, you know, this man, does he have a right to carry a gun? And this is a story that I saw even yesterday. We took the American story about this young man saying these people that are perpetrating the crime in Yalwata, and this was his actual statement, saying that they were Fulani headers. And these are the sort of conversations that we need to begin to have, where we see people wielding guns. Headers, they're supposed to have sticks, not guns, Ayo, not guns. I want to tie this story in as well, and I'd like for you to discuss both. Also in Kanu State, well, the Emir of Kanu, Mohammed Sanusi II, is calling out the government, stating that the persistent high rate of child marriage in parts of northern Nigeria is due to the failure to provide schools and opportunities for young girls. Sanusi made these comments during a live television interview on Wednesday as part of a broader conversation on culture, education, and reform. The Emir also condemned domestic violence, saying you cannot beat a woman because your culture says you can. Let's take a look.
Okay, we have citizens and human beings, and they have rights. Those rights are inviolable. You cannot violate them in the name of a culture. You cannot beat a woman because your culture says you can beat her. She's a Nigerian citizen entitled to protection. It doesn't matter what you think. Okay, because these are the values that we live by in this time. You cannot abuse a child. It's all well and good to talk about child marriage. You go to a village in some parts of the north, and there's a primary school, and that's it. So the girl finishes school at 11. Between 11 and 18, what arrangements have you made for her? There's no secondary school. There's no skills center. There is no provision for her life. The poor man basically finds that she's 12, 13, he's afraid that she can go and get pregnant on the road, and the next young man that comes marries her. Okay, so you've got to understand that sometimes these cultures basically reflect poverty. It's not about supply, education, but it's also supply for education. Let's build the schools. Let us go and make sure that we have the primary schools, we have the secondary schools, we have the teachers. And then let us see if people do not take their children to those schools.
Ayo Sanusi made critical points here. Nigeria has the world's highest number of out-of-school children, while society debates culture and tradition. The real culprit, as the Emir has exposed, is state failure. When there are no schools, families have no choice but to marry their girl child off out of desperation and not tradition. The northern elite need to invest in education. Very well said. We need more traditional leaders like Emir. He's always been an advocate of education and always been an advocate of education for the girl child in particular. You know, of course, across both boy and girl child. But I think it's important for institutions like the seat of the Emir to come out and speak very boldly about these issues in the north. This is not the first time. On this table, we've often advocated for more infrastructure, social infrastructure, welfare to be directed to the north, and we've asked the question as well around what the governors are doing, especially as when we keep talking about, increased FAC allocation, and we keep facing the center. But a lot of these governors are guilty of not serving their communities or serving their people well, especially with the resources at their disposal. Many of them have access to FAC allocation. Some of them they generate revenue internally, but we don't scrutinize their budgets. They spend the money in a way that beggars belief because a lot of attention is on the center. And so he's spoken very well. Let there be a northern elite consensus to tackle education, and they should give themselves a timeline, and OG will see a considerable advancement in education in the north. And so while we talk about this, also how he spills into the issue around insecurity. Because if they had the young age and not indoctrinated into false narratives because they have education, we would see a reduction in criminality and criminal activities in another part of Nigeria. And so whilst we may scream and shout about how things are bad, the northern Nigeria is unsafe, we must also pay close attention to what dividends of democracy the people in the north are actually enjoying, and how we must not pay lip service to education, but actually put our money where our mouth is. Now, talking about the herders who were armed, the truth is that in recent times we've had a proliferation of arms, particularly in some parts of Nigeria. And so the question I want to ask is, how did a herder, or how can a herder afford to buy a weapon? Some of them even have AK-47s. But investigation, and some of the reasons have been cited. Number one, cross borders. So these arms are gotten illegally from neighboring countries. Number two is the fact that they also have financiers who use these herders because they can conceal the weapon to traffic illegal weapons into Nigeria. Some of them retain these weapons. The truth is that if we want to be serious about tackling these issues, a lot of times we know the reason, we know the solution to be given. It is just a political will or a will to solve the matter. This man has his face on mask. He's walking freely on the street. Why has he not been apprehended? Because many of us know that he possibly does not have a license to carry that weapon.
All right. We'll take our next story now. With a new international investigation, which exposed how a Nigerian socialite, Nzube Henry Ikeji, allegedly posed as the Crown Prince of Dubai to defraud a Romanian businesswoman of over $2.5 million. The investigation by the Organized Crime and Corruption Reporting Project revealed that Ikeji, along with his associate Martins Abulimen, ran a sophisticated romance and investment scam over nearly 2 years. Ikeji allegedly impersonated Sheikh Hamdan Mohammed bin Rashid Al Maktoum on LinkedIn, expressing interest in funding humanitarian initiatives in Romania. What started as professional conversations evolved into a romantic relationship. The victim, identified only as Laura, was allegedly instructed to meet Ikeji's associate in London, where she was reportedly shown a fake bank account with over £200 million. Over time, Laura was said to have transferred more than $2.5 million in various fees before the scheme unraveled.
So this guy clamped very quickly. Just within from 2023 to 2024, he was everywhere. And you could see the wealth, the money, and everything. He flew to London for vacation.
Henry also mixed with Nigerian celebrities, including one of Nigeria's biggest musicians, Davido.
Davido had a concert in Asaba. So as Davido was performing, this guy was bringing bundles of naira, and then he would do the bundle at the stage. The naira flew around and then carpeted the stage.
What is Henry's nickname?
His nickname is Excess Money. The wife put a post on Instagram thanking God for gifting them another mansion in another city. And that mansion in another city is the house in Abuja. Henry himself posted pictures of him and one of the biggest real estate developers in Nigeria. So my own hunch was like, well, probably he bought this house from this man. So it's probably in one of his estates. Yeah, Harry is me. She can say, from Laura. From Laura. Do you know Laura? From Romania. Did you ever know how you are Prince of Dubai? Are you sure? I thought you had chickens here. I'm sure that I'm from what is now. Did you get to my house? Well, that's my job as a journalist. Why is this man doing it? It's not a problem. Don't worry about it. It's my colleague.
Well, this story has garnered several reactions on social media. Ikeji has not been charged of any crime as of the filing of this report, We're told that authorities in Nigeria, the United Kingdom, and Romania are investigating the case, and some funds have been seized from Ikeji's associate, Martin's Aboliman. And this is the kind of story that we see. I mean, I usually don't, feature stories like this, but when you hear of incidents of this sort of crime, and apparently we've seen that this man, I mean, he's not guilty, he hasn't been charged, has been seen in pictures even with the Inspector General of Police, Rufai.
So, the thing is, the Inspector General might not know that he's forgiven, and other people he's seen might not know. But you see, there's something about people like this. If he's charged, or let me talk about scam artists in general, they use social appearances to legitimize the money. Hence the pictures with strategic people and all of that. Also, they use politics to legitimize the money. You'll be shocked. Most people that get into politics urge you, this is the source of their money. And you'll be shocked that that happens. Most importantly, I think the authorities should be able to file a charge, maybe from Romania, from the lady, to be able to come to this jurisdiction and file a charge. But Oji, are you surprised? I mean, that was how Hushpuppi told us it was a real estate. It was a realtor for so many years until the truth came out in Dubai. We've had many cases like that. It's the normal MO. That's how Victor Sopi told us that he was the best thing because he made a lot of money from tech. In fact, even Forbes featured him as 30 under 30 before we finally found out what happened. So there are many of them like that. I mean, there was somebody in Ogun State, I think the special advisor, that was called abroad. In fact, there's a traditional ruler as we speak currently, like a part in this country.
From your area?
That went up. No, traditional ruler is not from my area.
Oh, is it not?
No, the traditional ruler.
Oh, maybe a chief.
No, it's not.
The former special advisor.
No,
who are you talking about, Dr. Ba? Is it from Ogun
There's a
State?
traditional ruler from somewhere around
Is it
there.
the person from Ogun State?
Okay. No, there's a
Yes,
traditional
name
ruler
it now.
from, I can't remember the particular
Oh,
name.
name, okay.
Is it Ekpa?
No, the name of the traditional ruler.
I don't remember his name.
Okay,
Straight on the mouth of my voice. Traditional ruler. Yes, for Ekpa Modu, I'm just
Okay.
Yeah, thank you so much for that. For Ekpa in Osun State, that was when he went to America, I was apprehended. So this thing has been going on for so many years. I mean, there are people, we remember the 19 boys days, the Cocaine Avenue boys in First Stack, remember all of those people. So, in fact, there are a lot of wealthy people today that the first tranche of money they made in their life was from scam and things like that. But these people cannot keep giving Nigeria a bad name, the Nigerian praise and all of that.
Yes.
That's why we need to crack them down. The people he was pictured with might not know. Most of the time, they don't always know. But please be careful to also ask. When you see people spending money in a too good to be true way, ask questions.
Right, Dr. Abati, over to you. You also wanted to touch on any outstanding story.
I wanted to comment on what Saki Kanu said.
That is Nigeria for you. I don't want to hear what Abati have to say because he's a very biased human being. He will never say something reasonable. Whenever Abati speaks, you will always see bias in his word. So I don't want to hear whatever Abati got to say. But everything that I've shown here shows that Nigeria is a failed state and will continue to be a failed state. So wherever you are, prepare yourself. Prepare yourself. Prepare yourself and protect yourself. Nobody's going to protect you. Nobody's going to save you or secure you. The only hope and prayer we're making is that the United States of America should intensify their effort. This collaboration with Nigeria for intelligence is absolute. To me, is waste of time. It is waste of time. Whatever they are trading, whatever they are doing with Nigeria is a waste of time. Look at, even with their present, more people are dying, more life, and more are going to die. More attack is going to happen. Even tomorrow, more attack is going to happen. Wherever you are, please protect yourself. Nobody's going to protect you. Nobody's going to fight for you. You need to fight for yourself. You need to protect yourself. Thank you so much for listening, wherever you join us from, wherever you join the program. I appreciate you. Continue to pray for our Supreme Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. Continue to pray for Mazi Simon Ekpa. As you know, Mazi Nnamdi Kanu has successfully filed his appeal. He has successfully filed his appeal. So we're going to be waiting for a date of the case of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. Also, Mazi Simon Ekpa, we know that his case is coming, appeal is coming on August, 5th of August. 5th of August, the case of Mazi Samoneko is coming up, and Mazi Samoneko have appealed to Biafra. If you can go to Finland on that 5th of August, please try as much as possible to be there. Buy your ticket now, and prepare. On that August, let us flood the court that day, so that they will know that Mazi Samoneko has a followership. It is very important. Very, very important. He has been vindicated in all the things that are happening in Nigeria now. Even in his absence, a lot has happened. So he has been vindicated. The only thing he's asking for us, thank God that some group have been able to get a lawyer for him. Some group have been able to get a lawyer for Mazi Simon Ekpa. And I thank them for that. It was a very good job. An international lawyer from the United States of America. I appreciate the lawyer and everything that he has done. And the people that got the lawyer, I appreciate them. The only thing that Mazi Simon is now asking is that people should come to Finland on that day, so you can buy your ticket on time. More especially those in Europe. If you are in Europe, you have no excuse. You must be there in solidarity with our Prime Minister on the 5th of August. It is important we begin to announce it now, so that it won't come by surprise. If you buy your ticket by now, it will be very cheap. Then August, you can fly there for solidarity, then you go there and come back. I appreciate every one of you, and I pray that Chukwu Okike will continue to provide for us and give us the strength to overcome. Thank you so much for watching, wherever you are watching from. I appreciate you, and I appreciate our Prime Minister, Mazi Simon Ekpa, and our Supreme Leader, Nnamdi Kanu. May Chukwu Okike guide and protect them, secure them, keep them safe for us. Thank you so much for watching. See you again tomorrow morning. We shall continue. Thank you so much, and stay blessed.
This is from Biafra's Got Talent. We are letting Biafrans know the reason why we should remember those who gave their lives for us, those who died, that we may live.
You died to end my suffering. You died fighting for my freedom. Your blood is the seed of redemption. You are my inspiration.
The deed no longer them, military shots at them. 67 to 70, we remember them. 2016, 38 May, memory still lives in our mind till today. Wonder why they refuse to publicize the genocide. The world media turn blind eyes to our plight. It's time to arise, land of the rising sun. Let's rise one more time, let's rise.
Yo, we will never forget our fallen heroes. Those who gave their life for us. Onitsha massacre, Ipocha massacre, Aba massacre. We remember you. Alright.
Tell them I touched me, oh. Remember when me tell you say I touched me, oh. Yeah, I remember that one that called us a Bruce Mero. But the way you go like a papa nuku. But them they were bonito. Me tell you what I look pandi, what pandi samiro. Me tell you what I day. For me the fall and the rest of man I tell you what I do. Me know that you come to tell them say
I want to promise you something today. We must fight together. No retreat and no surrender. We must hold them down till the end of time. The most important thing is that we will restore Biafra. May your soul rest in peace.
And I look up to the sky with tears in my eyes. For other Biafrans and for freedom had to die. We will never forget you as the days go by. You are always in my heart, we'll never be apart. They fought for our freedom. They died for our freedom. They fought the Nigerian soldiers in the war front. Without food, without guns. For our freedom, for our life, for our own good, for our children. We love them, our heroes. We want them.
My heart bleeds when I saw them slain. Where will I be now if not then? They will remain indelible in my heart. Forever, 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 and ever, and ever, and ever.
We serve in your plantation, and the way you paid us back with your bloody starvation. We bled in our history that the death of our people is the history, no going back till we get to a victory. I had a voice now call for vengeance. I never get bummed, I'ma blow like a vengeance.
Yo, we will never forget our fallen heroes. Those who gave their life for us. Onitsha massacre, Iwata massacre, Aba massacre. We remember you. Alright.
Where will I be now? If not you, you died at Mali.
They were starved to death because of our freedom, and they paid the debt for our freedom. Flag high for those that died in the genocide, fighting for you and I. There is pain in the heart, we bleeding inside, tears in the eyes, so I'm falling here.
This is for my fallen heroes. Keep them motivation, people. It's like I'm looking at myself in the mirror. Cause to be a cast, I need to be a nurse. If we did not retire,
They paid the ultimate price. They died for the freedom of my unborn child. We live for the legacy.
Yo, we will never forget our fallen heroes. Onitsha massacre, Iwata massacre, Aba massacre. We remember you. Alright. Yo, we will never forget our fallen heroes. Onitsha massacre, Iwata massacre, Aba massacre. We remember you. Alright.
Yeah, put the flag in the air. Never be afraid. March on, cause we are more than conquerors. Yeah, you know what it is.
I'm looking at myself in
We
the
must
mirror.
revenge, and we must stand to represent who